Previously on Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. I've never played this game, but I'm so upbeat about it. I know your own feelings. I know that you need the most right now, and that's what I'm going to give you. Don't make me do this, game! Sayori wraps her hands around me tightly. Dominus, is this really okay? Yeah. I held Sayori in my arms as she pulls me closer. You'll never have to let go of me again. I love you, Dominus. I want to be with you forever. Me too. I felt like a bunch of thorns when you told me you loved me. And that's why I want to trust you. Why am I messing up the hand thing all the time? Oh. I gotta save. Shush. Save. Exit. Yes. What? What? Oh my. What? What is this? What? I'm so confused. What? What? Reset? No. Attributions. I don't know what those are. Internal. 0, 0, 0, nothing. 0, 0, 1, nothing. Note, insecure directory. This is scratch this, do not use the store, blah blah blah. Ray is working on setting up a proximity thing. Paula. Game. Oh. Characters. Monika, Natsuki, Sayori, Yuri. I'm so confused. What? It's 1 a.m. Is it really 1 a.m.? Oh my god. It tracks the time? Now you know what time I record this. No! Hello everybody. My name is Dominus Warfare. Welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Now, where I left off, we just discovered this. No idea what it is, but got me some pizza. Why am I doing this like I'm on a roleplay? It's like, he cooked the pizza and said, triumphantly. I won't eat too much during the stream, because, you know, it's annoying. But I will be talking a lot, so I'm going to have to hydrate as much as I can. So, we're going to continue the normal one, because for the side stories, it says that I have to do unrelated events to the main one. To get all 6 side stories, I have to try writing different poems for different characters and viewing them in the actual game. I have the first 2, which I'm thinking about going to, but I don't want it to spoil anything in the main game because I've never actually played the game before. So I'm going to finish the main story, then go into the side stories. Why is it saying there's new pictures? There shouldn't be. I haven't played since yesterday. First concept sketch. That's new. I didn't... Huh? Okay. Let's get straight back into it, I suppose. Love that intro. Load game. Right here. Use a skip button to fast forward text. Well, as you can see, I have not progressed any further than here. Of all days, I expected this to be the one where I'd be walking to school with Sayori. But Sayori isn't answering her phone. I considered going to her house to wake her up, but decided that's a little too much. Meanwhile, the preparations for the event should be nearly complete. The banner Yuri and I painted is dry, and it gently folded up to take it with me. She sent me a pleasant text reminding me not to forget anything, and I reassured her. Funnily enough, I probably feel the same way as Natsuki about the event. I'm more excited for it to be over so I can spend time with Sayori and Yuri at the festival. But knowing Monika, I'm sure the event will go great too. Indominus! Why is there no music? You're the first one here. Thanks for being early. That's funny. Thought at least Yuri would be here by now. Monika is placing little booklets on each of the desks in the classroom. I could have sworn there was supposed to be audio. Yeah, it's just not. It's not my headset. It's literally none here. Hold on, I thought I gotta. Okay. And then I found a random poem online that I thought Monika would like and submitted it. So that's the one I'll be performing. God, I can't. Okay. I'm surprised you didn't bring Sayori with you. Yeah, she overslept again. That dummy. You'd think on days that's important she'd try a little harder. I say that, but I suddenly remember what Sayori told me yesterday. And I suddenly feel awful, knowing it's not nearly that simple for her. I only said it because it's the only way I'm used to thinking. But maybe I should have gone to wake her up after all. You should take a little responsibility for her. I mean, especially after you exchanged with her yesterday. You kind of left her hanging this morning, you know? No. Don't. No. You know, I like to be very poetic and metaphorical when I write stuff out. And there's a heavy amount of foreshadowing in these games. Please don't tell me that's meant literally. Please tell me that wasn't meant. That was a figure of speech, right, Monika? Exchange. Monika, you know about that? Of course I do. I'm the club president after all. But I stammer, embarrassed. Did Sayori really tell her about it that quickly? That we're a couple now. I didn't really plan on bringing it up with anyone yet. Jeez. You don't know the full story at all, so don't worry. I probably know a lot more than you think. Eh? Monika is being friendly as usual, but for some reason I felt a chill down my spine after hearing that. Hey, do you want to check out the pamphlets? Don't change the subject, Monika. This was just a friendly chat, but now it's an interrogation. Good cop's gone. Bad cop is here. They came out really nice. Yeah, sure. I grabbed one of the pamphlets laid out on the desks. Oh, yeah, they really did. Something like this will definitely help people take the club more seriously. You made a pamphlet for a club. I don't think so. Yeah, I think so too. I flipped through the pages. Each member's poem is neatly printed on its own page, giving it an almost professional feeling. I recognized Natsuki and Yuri's poems from the ones they performed during our practice. What's this? I flipped to Sayori's poem. It's different from the ones she's practiced. It's the one that I haven't read before. There's a percent symbol, and then get out, get out, get out, get out, get out of my head, get out of my head before I do not know what I do what I know is best for you. Get out of my head before I listen to everything she said to me. Get out of my head before I show you how much I love you. Get out of my head before I finish writing this poem. But a poem is never actually finished. It just stops moving. Ah, what is this? Reading the poem, I get a pit in my stomach. What's wrong? Ah, nothing. There is incredibly many things going wrong, Monika. I just don't know what to say. So I'm gonna drink. This poem feels completely different from everything else Sayori's written. But more than that, I changed my mind. I'm going to get Sayori, so... well, alright. Try not to take too long, okay? I quickly leave the classroom. Don't strain yourself. Monika calls that out after me. I quicken my pace. Sprint, dude! What was I thinking? I should have tried a little bit harder for Sayori. It's not a big of a deal to at least wait for her or help wake her up. Even a simple gesture of walking her to school makes her really happy. Besides, I told her yesterday that things will be the same as they've always been. That's all she needs, and I want what I want to give to her. I reach Sayori's house and knock on the door. I don't expect an answer since she's not picking her phone either. Like yesterday, I opened the door and let myself in. Sayori? She really is a heavy sleeper. I swallow. I can't believe I ended up doing this after all. Waking her up in her own house. That really is something that a boyfriend would do, isn't it? In any case, it just feels right. Outside Sayori's room, I knock on her door. Sayori? Wake up, dummy. There's no response. Really didn't want to have to enter a room like this. Isn't it kind of a breach of privacy? But she really leaves me no choice. I gently open the door. An exception has occurred. What the hell? Is this a nightmare? It has to be. This isn't real. There's no way this can be real. Sayori wouldn't do this. Everything was normal up until a few days ago. That's why I can't believe what my eyes are showing me. I suppressed the urge to vomit just yesterday. I told Sayori I'd be there for her. Told her I know what's best and that everything will be okay. Then why? Why would she do this? How could I be so helpless? What did I do wrong? Confessing to her? I shouldn't have confessed to her. That's not what Sayori needed at all. She even told me how painful it is for others to care about her. Then why did I confess to her? Make her feel even worse. Why was I so selfish? This is my fault. My swarming thoughts keep telling me everything I could have done to prevent this. If I just spent more time with her, walked her to school, and remained friends with her like it always has been, then I could have always prevented this. I know I could have prevented this. Screw the literature club. Screw the festival. I just lost my best friend. Someone I grew up with. She's gone forever now. Nothing I do can bring her back. This isn't some game where I can reset and try something different. I had only one chance and it wasn't careful enough. And now I'll carry this guilt with me until I die. Nothing in my life is worth more than hers. But I still couldn't do what she needed from me. And now, I can never take it back. Never. Never. End. What? What the wait. What? Sayori, there's nothing of you. Okay. I see an annoying girl running towards me in the distance. That girl is my neighbor and good friend. You know, the kind of friend you never see yourself making today. But it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this. But starting around high school, she overslept more and more frequently. I would get tired of waiting up. But if she couldn't chase me after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sign idle in front of the crosswalk and like, arse jarn, catch up to me. What the f? Did I break it? It's an ordinary school day like no other. Mornings are usually the worst, being surrounded by couples, friends, walking to school together. Meanwhile, I've always walked to school alone. That's a lie. I always tell myself it's about time I meet some girls or something like that. But I have no motivation to join any clubs. I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. There's always the anime club, but it's not like there'd be any girls in it anyway. That's fair. The school days is ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. There really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them would probably be way too demanding for me to want to deal with. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Indominus? Monika! Oh my goodness, I totally didn't expect you to see you here. It's been a while, right? Yeah, it has. Monika smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talk, but we were in the same class last year. Monika was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... What'd you come in here for anyway? Oh, I've been looking for supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there's any construction paper here? Or markers? I guess you could check the closet. You're in the debate club, right? About that, I actually quit the debate club. Really? You quit? Yeah. To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. Feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'm sorry if I stutter way too much. I am just... I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. In that case, what club did you decide to join? Actually, I'm starting a new one. A literature club. Literature? That sounds kind of dull. How many members do you have so far? I hate that the music stopped. It's kind of embarrassing, but there are only 3 of us so far. It's really hard to find new members. Well, I can see that. But it's really not boring at all, you know? Literature can be anything. Reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members even keeps her manga collection in the club room. Wait, really? Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature, too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member's a member, right? Did Monika say she? Hey, Indominus? By any chance, are you still looking for a club to join? I mean, I guess so, but in that case, is there any chance you could do me a big favor? I won't ask you to join, but if you could come at the very least to visit my club, it would make me really happy. Please? Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monika? Sure, I guess I could check it out. Oh, awesome. You're really sweet. You know that? It's nothing, really. Can the music start again? Shall we go, then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important. Oh. And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul to Monika and her irresistible smile. Why is Monika irresistible? I dejectedly follow Monika across the school, and upstairs a section of the school I rarely visit. Monika, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. There's the music. I'm back, and I brought a guest with me. A guest? Seriously, brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. Apparently, I can't even say words. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. So let me guess. You're Monika's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Okay. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Yuri, the vice president. It's nice to meet you. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. So I ran into Indominus in the classroom. He decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great? Wait, Monika, didn't I tell you to know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know. Sorry. I don't forget, but I happened to run into him. She was going to make the cupcakes. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monika and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monika. So, I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to help the club make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. Must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard and convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festivals that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow in this club before we graduate. I'm apparently stroking out like this game. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls all interested in the same goal. Monika must have really worked hard to find these two. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teacup in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in this room? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. And don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not. Insulted, Yuri looks away. Could my room stop having a ghost? I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles at herself in relief. So, Indominus, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read in the past, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga. I muttered quietly to myself, half joking. Are these all the same lines? Looks like she wanted to say something, but she kept quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is always amazing to me. I literally just tried to drink this when there's nothing in it. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination and completely throw you in a loop? I called it, didn't I? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be conversation with a rock. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. Suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me... This is new. Really, if a story makes me think, or takes me into another world, then I can't really put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, I just... Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. Never mind. I must have just confused it. Looked like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud and give that back. Fine, fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Yeah, well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities, and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have any writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I just got an idea. How about this? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. And then next time we meet, we can all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monika. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on responsibility of vice president after all. No, you didn't. That was Sayori, right? I need to do my best to nurture the group as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well? Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Monika may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But, I'm sorry, I thought... The girls exchange glances before Monika turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Indominus. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. And I've been trying really hard to find new members. If we don't find one more before the festival, I'm defenseless against these girls. Well, this is an interesting story. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I'd feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation. And besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend a day, every day, with these beautiful girls, right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that? Yeah. It could be fun, right? You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you really just left after all this, I'd be super pissed. Indominus, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monika looks over to me once more. I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way my mind wanders back and forth between the three girls, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in the literature club? Perhaps I'll have a chance to go closer to one of these girls. Alright. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess I start with writing a poem tonight. What? You've unlocked a special poem. Would you like to read it? Yes. What? Things I like about Papa. I like when Papa comes home early. I like when Papa cooks me dinner. I like when Papa gives me allowance. I like when Papa spends time with me. I like when Papa asks about my friends. I like when Papa asks me about anything. I like when Papa gives me lunch money. I like when Papa comes home from sundown. I like when Papa cooks. I like when Papa gives me privacy. I like when Papa doesn't tell me how to dress. I like when Papa doesn't comment on my friends. I like when Papa doesn't comment on my hobbies. I like when Papa comes home without waking me up. I like when Papa keeps food in the house. I like when Papa uses his inside voice. I like when Papa leaves my stuff alone. I like when Papa accidentally drops coins in the couch. I like when Papa is too tired to notice me. I like when Papa is too tired for anything. I like when Papa is too tired for anything. What? Okay. I'm gonna see if I can write the perfect poem for Yuri. Agonizing. Vivacious. Intellectual. Uncontrollable. Portrait. Heaven sent. Wrath. Unrestrained. Night. God! I should have just saved it and then loaded it. I should have just done that. Incongruent. Tenacious. Graveyard. Electricity. Melancholy. Afterimage. Misfortune. Vibrant. Essence. Whisper. I got 18 out of 2. Will it count? I don't know. Hi again. Glad to see you didn't run away from us. Ha 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 ha. I tried. No, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Well, I'm back in the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Ooh. Thanks for keeping your promise. Your face is fucked up. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Okay! Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. You're a ghost. You already had to drag here by Monika. I don't know if you plan to just come hang out here or what. But if you don't take it seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Why are you in front of the text? Natsuki certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the back room. Natsuki finds herself struck between saying the words Monika and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and after, perhaps you might be interested in picking up a book to read. Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now. So it only feels right for me to do something like that if you asked. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that, Yuri. I wanted to try to be part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you ever wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you could read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monika to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in the book. Can't help but notice her intense expression like she's waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk about Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time I'd feel bad for distracting her from the reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. Looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book that you gave just to me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. And there's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about anyway? Well, look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about a religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. Now, people trapped there have traits that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse. They start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. That was more in depth than last time. The book, I mean. Not the thing about limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so the dark turn came from nowhere. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those types of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story is the kind that challenges you to look at life from a different, new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants them to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. Then suddenly... I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. I am currently... surprised. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writings fill my thoughts, my whole body gets incredibly something. I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. Everything about you, Yuri, right now is very strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. And I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Yes. Hi, demon. I mean, you don't have to, but what are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had in my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah? Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's nothing that I don't want you to. Just something I'm not very used to. That is reading in company with someone else. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri meant by reading about company. I can feel her presence over the shoulder as I read. It's not particularly a bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her book. I glance over. Looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just... I didn't even get a chance to read that. Something about bathing in my heat. Yuri, you really do apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri, then hold my book more between the two of them. Ah, I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her copy. Once we each lean in a bit, our shoulders are almost touching. I feel like my left arm is in the way, so I instead use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and folds it. Yeah, we've seen that before. I do the same with my right arm. That way I turn the page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips on the side. But holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face. She's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Ah, sorry. I think I got distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she's finished the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb, gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a bit. Eh? Is that a new face? No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses herself and all that. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? This is new. Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hand on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Did something happen just now? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything. Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. And don't worry, I believe you. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we just start sharing our poems with each other? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I figured we'd start without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book and slip it back in my bag. Natsuki. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair I shaped mine first. What the... What? What now? We're just gonna go right past that. Her eyes popped out of her... If you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. I want to go home. What? Harsh. What do you expect me to believe? You'd actually put effort into this. Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'd tell that what to improve, but you better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Oh, it's the same. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, but people can try. But that's about it. Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just to be honest, I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style won't make your message any less invalid. Yes, exactly. Like when it's easy to read but hits you hard. Why does the music just randomly cut out? I hate it. I like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that I put more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into that than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. Glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with the last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsugi's feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Who should I show it to? Monika. Hey! Having a good time so far? Totally. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, you ever... If you have any suggestions for the club, like new activities, things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. Much better off just going to flow with until I settle in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? No. It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's the sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. Is that foreshadowing? I hand Monika my poem. Great job. I was going, oh, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easy for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put some effort in. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know what Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing though. But sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that she's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must really be starving for social interaction. So don't blame her for coming out a little struggly like earlier. I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri! I'm back! Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm glad you took all the time you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monika. I suppose I should go get my poem. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident, so that's because I have to sound confident. What's your poem? Hole in the Wall. I've already read this, right? No, this is new. Hole in Wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings. My burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not the right person to ask for feedback. That's interesting. I am confused. That kind of... it's gotten popular. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, It can be really powerful. Ooh, that's what I want to know, though. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems recently. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monika's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get down something on paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot, we've already heard this. That's my advice. Thanks for listening. Who should I read it to? Oh, I can talk to Yuri now. As Yuri reads the poem and notices her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri covers her mouth, then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything, Yuri. I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphor indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. It's actually my first time. Yuri stares at me blankly and looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off unable to find an excuse. She traces her fingers along the words in the poems instead of breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. Just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most notable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their own style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick up a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased though. Biased how? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about other people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if this is a rare opportunity, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. It's the same one. I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you so long to read. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting's pretty. That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it's really descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you liked it. I'll be honest. Since our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Huh? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember, the poets often express their own feelings, thoughts and feelings and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in our last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a little more solemn, putting it that way. I haven't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing really. Wait. Oh. I'm just gonna skip then. I'm not gonna waste time. I didn't know that was a thing. Phew. I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing skills. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way poems can stand up to theirs. It's a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I end up getting myself into. Across the room, Monika is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Eh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Nah, thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple of suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Monika liked it, and then Dominus did too. So based on that, I'm gladly giving some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Dominus liked my poem too, you know. He even told me that he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh, I didn't realize you're so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Eh? That's not what I meant. You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Dominus appreciates my advice more than he appreciates yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Oh, well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Dominus started showing out. Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. Taking out your insecurities on others like that. You're really acting as young as you look, Natsuki. Me? Look who's talking, you wannabe edgy bitch. Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. What's going on? See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after graduating middle school, but you know. If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? The only thing cute about you is how hard you try. Ooh, be careful or you might cut yourself on the edge, Yuri. Oh my bad, you already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the f is wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let it Dominus hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. Ah! Suddenly Yuri turns to me as if she noticed I was standing there. Dominus, she's trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. Yuri. 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 My answer isn't changing. Yuri. Yuri. Hi. Hey. Why don't we step outside for a little bit? Okay?